Hello, my squidlings. So today we're back with some oxygen not included. We're going to resume where we left off yesterday on the doomed Antfarm. And we're going to take a look at seeing about getting maybe a self-powered oxygen machine going. So I'll tell you what, we're tired of producing chlorine as a byproduct of getting air. It's not great. We don't want to bother with it. Now, we do still need to finish tapping this methane vent here. You know, that's one thing actually I think I would change about the game. Instead of just calling it natural gas, why not just call it methane? So, let's see here. What are we doing? What are we working on currently? We have food. Air's looking okay-ish. Now we are gonna need some hydrogen for in here. You know, something we might do is rework this here to produce hydrogen for us a little bit. Of course, I don't know if that's wise. We don't have a whole lot of water here. I think maybe we need to, before we get into any of that, look at a water source. I really don't. We do have the saltwater geyser. I really don't want to have to tap that though, because it's going to be a huge power sink. Yeah. Saltwater is not great. It's better than nothing, but it's not great. I see Frankie is idle. Let's have a look at what Frankie does, and we'll see if maybe we can give him an extra job just to pick up the slack somewhere. So he's our digger builder. He will occasionally tidy. Looks like there really isn't much to tidy at the moment. We are getting there on our research. Tell you what we'll do is... Oh, you know what? Our storage is almost all full. That's unfortunate. Let's just set up some more of that. Unfortunately, we lost our digger builder last time here, our last stream, so problematically we cannot do super duper hard digging to finish this, or do any real exploring. It did kind of set us back a bit. Metal volcano? No, it's a minor volcano, okay. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but over here I'm hearing kind of a rushing sound. I think that might actually be another geyser or volcano. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and dig up around in here and see if maybe we can expose that some. I'd like to find out what it is, whatever it is. Really, we can't dig wolframite. That's unfortunate. Duran, how's it going? Oh, hey, look, right here. We didn't even see it. Carbon dioxide vent. Talk about a worthless thing. Of course, it's not necessarily super worthless. We could turn it into oil later. Elixers and all. Choking on dinner. That's not good. Stop choking on stuff. I know you to be a seasoned eater. So we are looking to find, you know, is this that same volcano? Saltwater geyser. Oh, I see. Got unruly meatballs. Well, I suppose it could be worse. I think what we're going to do is try and find out what's in here. It might be something really useful. Probably just going to be a neural vacillator again. Colony achievement earned. Ghosts of Gravitas. Recover a database entry by inspecting facility ruins. Ah, here we go. Okay. And it is another vacillator. Personal Journey A046, encryption level none. Gravitas has been growing pretty rapidly since our first product hit the market. I just got to look at some of the new hires. They're practically babies. Not quite what I was expecting, but then I've never had an opportunity to mentor someone before. Could be fun. Well, alright then. So we did find a nutrient bar in the vending machine. I think what we're going to do is we're going to dig this out a bit. Just to gain access up here. We have super hard digging. Let's see. Much more? We need super duper hard here. Sucks. It's a whole nother skill point that we've got to wait for. Tell you what, this snow is warming up pretty quickly. It'll be good, it'll give us a little bit more water in here. We do need to find a geyser, like, pretty soon. Now, we could bust up through the sedimentary rock here, but I don't think that's going to give us a whole lot of looky-looky space up here. Well, let's see. If we could just dig up. Is there anywhere we can safely dig up? It seems like we're holding pretty well here on carbon dioxide, or, well, our gas mixture. Relatively livable. It is kind of a shame that we lost our Glossy Draco. I really want to know what happened with him. We're going to set that to open. Maybe this Draco will wander in there and we won't have to mess with it quite so much. So Frankie does have another skill point come in here in just a minute, which will be really good, because we do need the super duper hard digging. Like, in kind of a bad way. More salt water up there. Yeah, no, we're not going to build a wash basin. We can't spare the water for it right now. We still need to fill our cooling loop up before we can actually start using any of the wastewater this produces. Aha! Another one. Polluted water vent. I'll take it. Now I forget, the polluted water vent is one of the little mound-shaped ones, right? So we're going to do that. Of course it's in the abyssal here, that's not helpful. Polluted water vent, not great, but you know what? That's okay. We can at least filter it. We have an abundance of sand thanks to our rock crusher here. Guess we'll take the salt water. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but hurt anything. We might need it later. Oh, okay, we can't even build all the way up there until we get another skill point here. Come on, Frankie. Duran, you know, I suppose you're right. There should be a bonus to food every time they scrape under their fingernails. I mean, not like what they're eating is a whole lot better. Gross. That begs the question, what is the nutritional content of toe jam? A frightening thing to consider. Duran, I'm not even gonna read that. Ugh. The implications are unpleasant. Oh, of course you'd quit. It's quitting time. Damn union. The dupes have a union. I don't like it. Can't just work until it's done. Of course, they'd never get a break then. Always something to do. Ah, you know, I did mean to add a mod. There's a mod for this game that all it does is do the math for you on how much these geysers and such will output on, like, an average per day, per cycle. Very handy thing to have. I think the next time I boot this up, I'll add that. I guess it's technically cheating, but I don't really care. You know, I would actually start ranching hatches to higher first cabs. However, I don't think they'd be very good at it. I don't know how we ended up with a Drecklet in there, but I'm okay with it. Come on, Frankie. I need that skill point. Let's go, bud. Do we have anybody who... Oh, it didn't even notify me. Okay. Super duper hard digging it is. And Ren's gonna do everything. Ren everyman. Forgot to give Frankie his hat. There we go. Alright, Frankie. Let's do this. Time to deconstruct the steel gas pump there, and we're going to move it down here. wow, we're out of refined metal. Okay. Espionage. These oxyferns came from the world. As you can see, I've done a lot of like tunneling around in here, and there are a lot of native plants. This is the world type Arborea. It just has lots of oxyferns in it, which is kind of a blessing, but also kind of a curse, because you're very dependent on having some carbon dioxide in the base. So, in case you missed it, this is the Arborea world type. All these oxyfern just came from all these little spaces in here. As you can see, we've got plenty of native plants just hanging out. In fact, there's one that I haven't broken into and gotten yet. Right there. It's kind of a blessing and a curse because, yeah, you get free oxygen out of it, but you do have to maintain a specific equilibrium in the base, or it will crash, which is one of the reasons why I'm deoxidizing rust at the moment and producing a boatload of chlorine. I want them to go make a little bit more of this aluminum at the moment. Can we? There we go. I just need a little bit. Come on, guys. Come on. I need 10 more kilograms of aluminum. It's super not hard. He's not sure if he wants to do that or not. He's gonna keep doing it until we're done. Cool, okay. Yeah, well, so we have the power plant set up, yeah? But we are not getting methane out of our geyser just yet. It's dormant for the next 5.5 cycles. And we're trying to set this one up as well. This one is also a methane geyser. So, I'm not sure which tile. There's a specific tile on these guys that will preclude them from outputting. And I know it's not... Sorry, we need to disable that. I know it's not that tile. Yeah, I can share the seed. I will have to find it, though. Yeah, okay, here. I'm gonna copy it, and I'll put it in chat. You go, bud. You will, in the first couple of cycles, like I'd say the first 5 or 10, you will need to go and get all of the oxyfern that you can. You will need at least 10 to maintain for 3 dupes. Yeah, it's... I caution you. It looks easy, and I almost lost this colony between 5 and 10. Oh, D, I just now saw your message here. Do hatches pee on themselves and forget to eat? No. In theory. Now, where are we on our research? We haven't done any research. Yeah, better than the dupes still. And the dupes are just dumb sometimes. There's nothing to be done about it, of course, but... Man. So this room is functionally going to be the heat sink for the power plant here. We want to make sure that this room stays at about -10 Celsius. And of course our cooling loop isn't full yet, because the only polluted water that we have access to at the moment comes from the carbon skimmer and a liquid pump in here from the natural gas generators. So they're going to be fighting this. We want to make sure that this room stays at about that temperature because we're trying to grow sleet wheat in here, and it will only grow at -55, if I'm not mistaken. -55 to -5 Celsius. So if we can keep it at about -10, the coolant won't freeze, and this should run nice and cool, clean. Now I'm wondering if I can just dig this one tile here and get access to this geyser, because we do need to analyze it before we clues it in. And of course we do need access to this polluted water vent, because yeah, I do know that you like your natural gas. I'm going to set this dig errand a little bit higher because we just want that to get done. So, now that this Draco is an adult, it will begin eating the mealwood here. When it eats mealwood, it will increase its chances of laying a glossy Dreklet egg, which is what we want, because instead of shearing them to get what is effectively wool, we'll be shearing them to get literally refined plastic, like plastic, to use for whatever we want. And plastic is an invaluable in-game material. Okay, natural gas, analyze. Hopefully it doesn't erupt. It shouldn't be able to erupt because of all of the tiles that are still covered there by rock, but it certainly is possible. Let's see here. So here is dead center, right? Because we do not have the offset pod position trait. All the way over here, this is the edge. So 1 screen, 2 screens, 3 screens, about 4 screens wide. And of course they're always a little bit taller than they are wide. So let's see how far this one goes down. This one goes down a long way. I would... It feels a little bit pinched, but let's see how tall it is. How far up? Still going up. Come back down. Yeah, it looks like... Now, I mean, when you go all the way up, yeah, probably this much of it is, like, space. But we come back down, we've got a ways to go, you know? Now, who's our researcher? San. San is our researcher. Very high researcher. Oh, but he's doing too many things at the moment. Okay, so maybe we can rebalance this a little bit. Give Hassan a break from all of that stuff. Let's see. Turner can take over operating. We'll let him take a break on tidying and storing. And Hassan should be good to go finish his research. Just to answer your question pretty straight on, yes, this feels like a normal-sized map. The sun is still generating power. I'm going to set that to 7. Especially since we are coming up on activity for this natural gas geyser, and we'll be able to start burning it for power here. So our snow is melting in here. Any snow that gets stored in here is melting, which is good. And it's giving us a small little bit of water. Now, we're going to eventually have to set up a water treatment facility. It's probably... I would like to put it right here, but of course there's this geyser. Or where we are going to put that then. Well, we need chlorine for it. We could just put it in this space. Build a couple of airlocks and minimize any chlorine gases getting into the base. Office store what? The natural gas or the water that we're going to be getting? Oh no, we're not going to be storing power. It's far easier to store the chemical energy in the natural gas, in the methane, than it is to store the power. So what we have here set up is a smart battery, right? This just holds power for the base. When it gets low on power, it will draw from the main smart battery that controls the natural gas generators. This battery will turn on the generators when it reaches 35%. So anytime it's below 35%, the gas generators will be on. If it reaches 90%, it will shut them off, and then it will keep feeding power out to the base. Now, we may get to the point where we try and do some advanced gas storage by using, like, really high pressures. You can do that with Weezwarts or doors. To just get, like, really insane gas storage density. That's kind of advanced. I'm not exactly sure how I would do it just yet. But it's something that's on the table perhaps for later. These only store, let's see, 150 kilograms of gas. Which, if you look at them, they're 5 tiles wide and 3 tiles tall. That's 15 tiles. They only store 10 kilograms of gas per tile, which really isn't super great. You would think that with, you know, high pressures and cryogenics being available... Actually, you know what? Thinking of it, that would be a really good way to store this gas. We could liquefy it and store that way. Of course, we would have to keep that absolutely cold. But it's something that could be done. So, there aren't very many uses for high-pressure CO2. The best use for CO2 in the game, by far, is to use slicksters to convert it into oil. But then you have to go through the whole process of turning that oil into petroleum. And it's a big undertaking. It is actually somewhat analogous to all of those petroleum fractioning plants and stuff that you see down by the coast. It requires a lot. You've got to boil it. You've got to turn it into a gas, and then you've got to condense the sour gas, and it'll it can be done. Some people rely on that for power, even in the mid game. But it is a large undertaking. It does produce a lot of heat. Like, there are a lot of things to consider when you get started on something like that. So it looks like Hassan is just going to stay on that manual generator until we start getting natural gas power, which I guess is okay. Now, I'm not sure if this polluted water vent will have germs in it or not. I suppose it's worth looking into. If it has germs, it'll have to sit overnight in a chlorine bath. That would be the most efficient way to deal with the germs. However, we could alternatively boil it. But in any case, we're going to need to sieve it to get clean water out of it. Oh no. You locked your coal power plants in the room is now full of high pressure CO2. 15K. Alright. You know, how many coal power plants do you have running at a time in there? 2? One carbon skimmer should be able to keep up with that. You just dump a carbon skimmer in there. Well, I mean, if you want to use it, you can use it, but what are you going to use it for is the question. And the only real answer is turn it into oil for later. You know, I don't know about gas pressure being very good at breaking walls. I suppose it's possible. I've never seen it happen, though. And I've seen, like, 150,000 kilograms per tile of gas before, so it just may not be coded into the game. You're not doing a very good job of putting stuff away in here. So our fridge is approaching full. Blossom seeds. We haven't gotten any of those yet. That'll be handy. Alright, so he should be finished with this. He might come along and try and do this insulated tile here as well, but I think would like for them to be done working on this at the moment. Oh, you know, it didn't even occur to me. This might need to be built out of something else. I'm not sure what temperature the polluted water comes out at. Let's see. Polluted water vent. Contaminated water. It will be boiling. Well, we may have to come along and change this liquid pump to a steel one, which will mean making more steel, unfortunately, but Ren. Why, Ren? Damn it, man. These dupes, they just don't respect themselves or each other. Now we've got to go get rid of more polluted water. By the way, this is a really handy way to deal with polluted water. I actually have a bunch of polluted ice over here because they just dump it in this extra cold area and it freezes. Beep. Now this system will automatically filter any gas that we put into it. You know what? I am not sure, actually, about whether it takes care of the germs. I don't see anything about germs in here. Germs. Oh yeah, yeah, look at, they're falling off pretty quick. We were at 4,000, now 2, 1.5, 1, 500 germs. Yeah, that does kill the germs. Of course, it's at minus 30 Celsius. Alright, so we now have a grooming station here. Or we will in a moment, as it is. That'll keep our Drekos happy. And then what we'll probably do is come along and remove a couple of these mealwood. Actually, it occurs to me we could put those up in here. Now, we're not going to need a critter feeder in here. Ah, here we go. Natural gas geyser. And it's active for 105 cycles. That is awesome. So, what's going on with our gas? I meant to show you this here a little bit ago. We're going to be taking the hot gas from here, running it along this purple line here that's insulated, up through this space, and it will then filter any gas that gets put into this system. Once we enclose this room, we'll stop filtering it. We won't have to worry about it being anything that's not methane. This room up here? This room up here is doing the rust deoxidation. You've got, basically it's set up to fraction automatically. Here you can see we have oxygen up top and we have chlorine on the bottom because we know chlorine is heavier. When this room fills up to this point with chlorine, it will pump the chlorine off. Now, occasionally some oxygen gets sent off into this storage system over here too, but that's okay. Up top here, we have this set to only pump when oxygen is at least covering this line. As I was saying with the ventilation overlay here, we basically have a small amount of storage for the gases that we end up putting out. I expect this to have a relatively high uptime. And here you can see the generators are now starting to get their natural gas. We're starting to produce some more polluted water. Now this polluted water is germ-free, it's just dirty. And this is pumping straight into our cooling loop. Once this cooling loop is full, it will stop trying to pump into it because that is the way these liquid bridges work. And we'll just come along, we'll destroy this liquid bridge, and then we'll start pumping this off into the water treatment area. Now, one thing to note is that our temperatures are going to fluctuate kind of wildly here for a little while. We do want this to keep cooling, and it should. It's just going to be a matter of finding the right ratio of beeswarts. And then in the rest of this space we can grow our slate wheat and not have to worry about it. Now let's see, we have 740 kilograms of refined aluminum. That is awesome. I think one thing that we might do if we can, yes we can, we're going to automate access to this manual generator. So this manual generator is going to be hooked up to the smart battery. When this smart battery is dead, then it will turn on access to the manual generator. Have you thought about adding a cooling bath below? Cooling bath for what? And to answer your question, yes, freezing water in a pipe will bust the pipe. Ah, freezing water that a pipe runs through. No? I don't believe so. Now, if you're talking about having liquid sitting that then freezes into a tile, that will not hurt the pipe, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong about that, anybody's willing, you know, to come in and fix me on it, but I don't believe that that will happen. So as you can see, the battery is out of power. It's enabled the manual generator, which is back-feeding power into our system here and allowing us to get some gas going, because this system is prone to stopping if it runs fully out of power. Hassan really needs to get his ass in gear and go over here and do this thing. Oh, is that... Oh, good grief. I'm gonna have to break this open. I hope this is... Says it's idle. Oh, it's erupting now. Well, let's see if this does it. Actually, you know what? Before I do that and make a great big mess, we're gonna pause. I'm gonna Google. We're gonna Google and see which tile it is. There is a... No, I'm not gonna build a door. We want to fully enclose that room anyway. I don't want to get into a situation where we then have to break down a door and then rebuild it. Alright, well, I couldn't find it there with a very quick Googling. We're gonna dig this out and hope And I suppose, yeah, we'll build a door in here. I really don't want it to leak heat into this space, though. Come on, Hassan. God damn it, Hassan. No more operating. It's not unreachable. Oh, he needs to stand under this tile, I bet. Circuit overloaded. Hey, there we go. Okay, so now this should be disabled, right? Disabled by automation grid. You can see it there. He does have short arms. So now you can see our gas working properly. This will fill until these two gas reservoirs are full, and then it will stop. So we will have some buffer. I may even put more buffer in this space here. Actually, I think that seems like a really good use of this space. It's still unreachable, apparently. I know if we dig that tile out, it's all gonna go haywire. I think this is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna put gas reservoirs in the space here. We can only really fit two there, that's okay. So let's have a look at our cooling loop here. You can see our carbon skimmer is doing a little bit of work, which is good. Now, the natural gas generators are producing carbon dioxide as a byproduct, and it's just getting filtered down into this tiny space here and eaten up by the carbon skimmer. Now, this is going to increase our water usage here, which means that we do need to get going on our polluted water vent. Should be okay for a little while, I think. You know what though? I'm not gonna risk it. We're gonna dig this out. And this space is gonna fill up with polluted water for now. there was another Draco, or yeah, Draco in here somewhere. And we did have a glossy Draco at one point. It's just gone, though. Well, of course it's 3 tiles wide. So as you can see, we're now filling up our gas reservoirs. Our cooling loop is still filling. Yeah, 15K total. Oh no, I'm sorry. 150K total. 10K per tile. Okay. This is the overloading circuit that we saw earlier. Because it was kind of an emergency build here, it's on the other kind of wire. We're going to let that ride for the time being. We're going to lock this door too, because we're looking excellent on gas. At least for those parts of our base. Right, now whose job is it to wrangle things? Meep. Meep needs to start working on wrangling. There we go. $17.7K per tile with CO2. Dude, really, just put in a carbon skimmer. Otherwise, you're gonna flood your base. Actually, at this point, you're probably gonna flood your base when you get in there to put the carbon skimmer in. Oh hey, waterlock, that's cool. I don't utilize those enough, I think. As you can see, our room is heated up here a little bit. The refined metals are coming from the rock crusher. It does not have a very good ratio. You take 100 kilograms of aluminum ore, and it will give you 50 kilograms sand and 50 kilograms aluminum. But since I have a lot of aluminum in this world, that's okay. Now we do have a copper volcano, and I forget exactly where it is, but there's a copper volcano. It might be this one. Yeah, it's that one there. The copper volcano, once tamed, will just give you infinite copper and a decent amount of power. It'll pay for itself, at least. And, yeah. We'll be switching over to copper for all of our needs soon. Oh, dude, that's bad to hear. Good luck. So we are going to leak a little bit of gas here because I'm replacing this pipe with insulated pipe, which, yeah, we can tolerate a little bit of a leak over here. It's going to be very short. Ooh, the old board had a water stain above the processor socket. That doesn't sound good. You should ask Office about water on his motherboard. Briar seeds. We will take briar seeds. So Meep looks like he might have too many things going on. We're gonna allow him to decorate. We're gonna turn tidying down some more. So I've decided we just need to have it done. The water treatment facility is going to go right here. know what else we're gonna do? We're gonna make all these wrangle orders high priority. I'm tired of waiting for Meep to get around to it. Okay, you poked a hole in the high-pressure CO2 room, and what happened? Is your base now dead? Did you basically exploding leak yourself? $25K. Now, was that localized or was that all over? Eek. Again, man, just use a carbon skimmer. Just use it. Like, anybody who uses coal as their main power, and I will say, coal can be very, very efficient if you have the hatches to keep them supplied, as long as you use a carbon skimmer. Like, I have made it all the way to cycle, like, 500 on coal power before. Like, without needing to branch out into anything else. Especially when you can get 4 coal power plants into the same generator room, air quotes. Each one will produce 900 watts of power when supplied with the power control chips. So that's 3.6 kilowatts of power, like, all the time. It's definitely not a bad thing to try. Now, if you have access to natural gas, you're going to need steel. But it's doable too. Oh, and you know what? I just realized I haven't done the thing that I want to do. We're going to give them an extra 2 downtimes, and we're going to take 1 away to give them 1 more work cycle, so they can put their damn food away when they're done eating. Should spoil slightly slower. Oh, hey, we're out of water. That's bad. We're going to deconstruct that and hope that that ice falls into this little tiny bit of water here and warms up some. Oh yeah, they can drink the ethanol, totally. Unfortunately, it won't keep the plants alive, and that's the big problem. And they can't cook with it. I really want them to hurry up and finish this. We're adding a space heater because we need to melt this water, or this ice. Another oxyfern seed. Always take that. Alright, so this ice is at minus 21.1 Celsius. I know these space heaters take a little while to heat up. Fortunately, there isn't a whole lot that can be done about that just now. Time for drastic measures. So it looks like this is filling up relatively quickly. So we can now start taking this water and pumping it up. We're going to go straight up through here. And pump directly into the sieves. That'll get us in water for a little bit. Oh, look at that. Air doesn't look great. Turn the rusty oxidizer back on. We had the shearing station here that we wanted. Now you can see it stuttering here, and that's because it's adding that packet of water to the line somewhere. This ice is taking forever to heat up. And there we go, we've got our first packet of water going through here. Alright, everybody goes to the bathroom, they eat, and then they go back to work for a minute, right? No, they just stand around. Okay. Oh no, here we go. Yeah. And it's bedtime. I guess while we're in here, we'll just rebuild all of this. This is turning into a longer term situation than I thought it would be. lot of jobs for... what's his name to run around and do at the moment. Actually, let's look at skills here. Hassan... Ranky. Ranky's got a skill point. We're gonna give him building. Not gonna like it, but that's too bad. Tired of them using this dang rock crusher when there's other stuff to be done. I'm surprised we're doing okay, given that we have no water at the moment. Well, okay being relative here. We have an awful lot of carbon dioxide. Free food, we'll take that. This space heater is really fighting. You know what? Instead of doing that, because that's messy, we're going to go along and we're going to connect right up here. Quite a lot less to build. So it looks like a bit of a mess, and it kind of is, but we're getting there. As soon as we get our water input, we'll be fine. Oh hey, is that everything done? That's everything done, okay. So, now we need... I'm gonna take an insulated pipe for this part. No, I think we're gonna use a transformer here, just for this space. We're gonna run the conductive wire into that. We're actually gonna deconstruct all of the rest of this wire here. And that'll enable us to use cheaper wire for this system, as it's only going to be the water treatment, basically. Now we may need to put in a cooling loop here, and that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving this kind of a strange shape. I'm not sure how hot this polluted water vent is going to be. Well, we're getting there on this water. On the ice there. Not great, but we're getting there. Looking slightly better on oxygen. Okay. You know, the longer I have these oxyferns here, the more I'm thinking their only purpose is to remove carbon dioxide. They don't really produce enough oxygen. Now we need to set that to analyze at 9 priority. Almost forgot that. We're gonna need to pipe the chlorine that we have on tap here into this room. Alright, so this last one we're setting to activation time 0, right? So basically dawn. I'd like these wool pups, but we can't afford them yet. So as you saw, we're activating for 30% of the day here on this cycle sensor. It's basically a clock, right? And this will enable us to shuffle water along through this room. For this one, we're going to set its active duration to 30 as well. But we want it to be active until, call it 66% here. Or inactive until 66%, rather. Now this one, we're going to set it to 33%, and its active duration down to 30% as well. So basically what we're going to have is a system where water can move through this room freely at certain times. Basically any water that comes into this room will take 1 full day to go through, thereby being purified fully by the chlorine that'll be in here. I hope I haven't done that wrong. We'll have to take a look at it after we get it fully set up. I've decided we want to plumb that through into the ceiling here. That way we have as few pipes in this room as possible. Now this will enable us to take our chlorine, right? It's going to filter this. So only chlorine makes it into this section of pipe here. Everything else gets sent out through the gas vent into the main oxygen supply here. Which isn't looking great, but it's looking slightly better. We may just need to run that full time. Okay, so our polluted water vent is active here. Hassan cannot reach it by schedule, that's okay. I'm thinking for the time being what we're going to do is dig this out just a little bit to kind of try and retain some of that water. Okay, so the polluted water does have germs. It's good to know. And we can tolerate this being in here for now. It's not the end of the world. We absolutely don't want Hassan to be trapped up there and die. Cool, now that's done. Again, it's messy, but we can deal. We can tolerate it. So here you can see our automation in action. We've got the battery is filling up. We're going to call it 100% here. We're going to try and maintain a little bit more, or a little bit less uptime, mind you. So you see we're down to 2 kilojoules? Yeah, 2 kilojoules again, it kicks on. I'm still seeing a bunch of smaller packets in here. We want all of these packets to be 10 kilograms before we move this line. I'm going to preemptively open this so that we can start mopping it up. Now this isn't selecting a filter, or we don't have a filter selected here yet. So it's not going to do any work. As soon as we close this room off, which we could do in just a moment actually. Let's just do that. A whole nother day of working and this still isn't done. Somewhat disappointed. Oh, it's coming out at 30 Celsius. That is not bad. That's not bad at all. Well, in that case, I don't even know why we bothered using the, in hindsight, of course, using the insulated. Suppose that's alright, though. There we go. So he should finish building these first, right? And then as soon as he's done with that, he'll finish enclosing this room. Hey, and just like that, now we're getting water. It's not a whole lot, but that's okay. It is basically infinite. Oh, now, so something's happened here. Ah, okay. Our carbon skimmer has stopped working. So now our natural gas generators cannot work. And that is all thanks to us not having any water. So we're starting to feel the effects of the water shortage, which is expected. And will be done shortly. So we're on manual power at the moment. Basically, once all the things that need doing are done, the power plant will shut, or will turn back on again. I'm gonna take that free iron. We like iron. So pressure in the base is coming back up, which is good. We need that. We do still have kind of an abundance of carbon dioxide down here, but really it's nothing terrible. Ooh, okay, so let's have a look at automation here, because we want to make sure sending a red signal, however, it's not turning off liquid reservoir. So these are all sending green signals. I wonder why. Oh, they changed this. Okay, so we're going to have to rewire this. We're going to end up with some dirty water in our system here, which isn't the end of the world, but it's not great. We're going to deconstruct just the automation wire, okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in some... liquid shutoffs. Oh, but they kind of occupy the same tile. That's just special. So we're going to need to rework a lot of this, I think. I'm glad we did this, or we found this out before we started pumping CO2 into the room. Wow, that really is messy. I don't like the way this is panned out. Hey, we just got a glossy Drecklet egg. I don't know why I can't click on it there. It's in a weird spot, but it's okay. Alright, so this power transformer is going to move. Put it up there, I guess. We will use a conductive wire bridge here. Cool, we were able to do that without making a mess. That's good. Okay, so this one can stay there. We're gonna shuffle these all over a little bit. Wow, I feel like nothing gets done in a day here. I know you can't build Rome in a day, but still. So let's have a look at our water network. Where did all of our water go? Oh, and now we have slime lung. Cool. Where's, what's going on here? We need that done, like, now. Our ice is now down up to minus 18 Celsius. It'll eventually work. Ah, good grief. I need this room fully enclosed. Ah, there it is. Okay. Well, it certainly is a mess. We're getting there. Storage for abyssalite is unavailable. Unfortunate, but we're just gonna do that. There we go, he picked it up just in time. Alright, and that is our polluted water vent tamed. Now we need to figure out the storage and all that other good stuff here. 0 kilograms, we're going to deconstruct that. It'll probably make a mess, but that's okay. We'll need to rebuild all of the pipes. And then, Duran will be happy to hear about this. We'll be able to put in hand washing stations and bathrooms and such. We're also going to deconstruct all this automation here, because it's... Actually, you know what? This one is in a good spot. Oh, we don't need it to be... That's fine. Alright, so we're going to be pumping into here, and then from there out into there. Into here, and out into there. Then out. To one more shut off. Deconstruct that guy. And into there. Now this room has gotten considerably larger than it was before, which is fortunate, but we will deal. Eventually we're going to get rid of this ladder here. We'll have to access from above. Just for the sake of uniformity here, we're going to move this automation wire. All the rest of this stuff. So we're going to be taking a break here soon, but I want to get this fully set up before we actually stop working. Alright, so it's chlorine time. They're now pumping chlorine. Now, as soon as... Oh, you know what? And build this in right away. Alright, so we had originally built that in to make sure that we didn't end up with any carbon dioxide in this room. Now we just want to make sure, of course, there we are, with some carbon dioxide. Right, I suppose we'll deal with that later. It may not even prove to be problematic, but we will see. We want to fill this room fully up with chlorine, and then we're going to replace this tile with another insulated one. As you can see, our germs are going down. Now pressure in this room is going to steadily increase. As you can see, now we're starting to spill chlorine into the base, so we're going to build that in. And the carbon dioxide, or the oxygen here, should naturally float around into this corner. We can extract it from there. We ended up with a little bit of chlorine in the base, but this room is basically free. We're about done with it. Now, as you can see, we're still... Actually, we may just leave it, to be fair. We may just leave it. We're killing all of our germs. Now, as soon as we get a steady water supply, and we can remove the backup on the carbon dioxide here, we should see the power plant kick on forever, basically. A lot of chlorine in the base here. We're gonna lock that door. I don't want them coming in here for anything anymore. We have too much chlorine in the base as it is. Yeah, there's quite a lot of it. Now, eventually it will settle down into sort of this space once we have enough oxygen, but we can't keep doing what we're doing. As you can see, we're letting a little bit of water out. Now it's going to prioritize filling our plants first, and that's okay. It's going to take some time, but we'll get there. The system will reach equilibrium here within a couple cycles, I think. We're gonna disable that real quick. There we go. We want our water to start circulating through the base properly. So as you can see, we are killing germs relatively quickly here. Now this is filling up with water, so you're going to see the germ count go up. This is a count of all the germs in this reservoir. We'll take the free food because we're not producing a whole lot at the moment. wonder what we're looking like on dirt here. Oh yeah, we've got plenty of dirt. Don't have a lot of water, but that's okay. Now, I'm not sure if we have any coal, actually. We do, we've got some coal. That'll provide some auxiliary power for us. There we go. So now you're going to see the water start running around, and we should get our system running fully. Now we will eventually automate this process so that it runs a little bit better and we don't have to keep accessing the room, because that's where all of this chlorine has come from, people getting into this room and letting some out. We're going to build in a bridge there just so that this water will prioritize running back down this way. And we're going to disable that bridge so that it all runs freely. As soon as we start seeing water coming into our... Yes, there we go. Now, as you can see, these are going to start kicking on, and we should be at equilibrium now. And they're just in time for the food shortage to hit. Alright. But we have power. Now this is only going to run backup power, so we're actually going to tell it to stop producing at 10% power, right? Anytime this has more than 10% power, basically this is just going to be backup, the coal generator. Let's look at our gas problem. It's not terrible. Oxygen, chlorine. It'll fraction out as soon as we generate a little bit more gas. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to automate this room. That'll be a good way to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Atmos sensor here. Doesn't need to be that super huge of a priority, but... This door will only be openable when the pressure in here is lower than, call it 10 grams per. Put it to auto for the time being, because it doesn't have any rust to deoxidize at the moment. Now, it will send a green signal if below 200 grams. That's fair. There you go. Now it's running. So basically this is going to pump all of the gas out of the room, and only then can we open it. It's a bit of a band-aid solution still, but it will work. As you can see, now we're going to be producing gas. And again, it's a bit of a mess down here, but it will fraction out as we add pressure. So, we have water. We have water income, which is good. And yeah, eventually this is going to fill up. And once it's full, water will stop going into this line. And yeah, I think that's a good stopping point for us for now. I'm going to be ending the stream here in just a moment. Let's see if there's anybody that we can raid. And we will be back shortly thereafter. But it's time to go. You know, grab some food and take a little bio break. Let's see here. Looks like we don't have enough people to do a raid. Unfortunate, but it's okay. So yeah, I'm going to pause the game here for a minute. And when we come back, we'll unpause and resume. I'll see you guys in about half an hour to an hour. Bye.